All right. Hi, everybody. Jody Bentley here, actor, producer, and CEO of Actor Insider and The Actor's Office. Coming to you live on Friday, June 12th, 10 a.m. Hello. I'm a week late in doing this. I usually go live on the first Fridays of every month to answer any and all questions you have on your career, the acting business, what is going on with you, answering any questions you have around all of that. I usually go, as I said, live on the first Friday of every month, but I was location scouting for my feature film that I am producing and acting in, that we are going to be shooting in my hometown. Whoops. Of New Bedford, Massachusetts. So that's where I was last week. So now I'm here live with you now. So, hi, I am feeling slightly under the weather, but I think it's allergies because the East Coast was crazy with pollen. And now flying home to LA and being on the plane, and now it's really dry and nasty. My throat's just like, no, thank you. But other than that, I feel okay. So for those of you just tuning in, and for those of you who don't know who I am, hi, I'm Jody Bentley. Hi, Joshua. Hi, Georgina. Hi, Ellen. Of course. So as I said, I go live once a month, typically on the first Fridays of every month, to answer questions that is going on with you in your acting career, in your acting business. I need to restart this other computer. I usually see my Facebook messages over here, Facebook comments, and it just froze on me. So let me restart that. I've been a career coach for actors since 2008. I've built the business of acting programs at 5 different universities. I have a book being published that my publisher will be releasing at the end of this year for actors, which we're very excited about. So yeah, lots of things going on. But today I want to really talk about where you're at, what's going on with your career. Because you guys, it's mid-June. We are almost halfway through 2026. Like I don't understand. Like I really don't understand. Like it's kind of crazy. Yeah, time has flown. And I'm sure you're feeling the same way. And I'm sure you have some questions coming up. So I'm just trying to see if I have questions here coming up in your own career. And I really want to help you suss things out and figure things out as we navigate things. Cause like this is it's an interesting time in our business, right? It's just an interesting time. And I feel like I keep saying that, but it is true. There is less work going on, right? The studios, the production companies are still finding their way in this space of AI, in this space of post-COVID, in this space of all the streamers in all the world, right? And how are they monetizing like they used to? So there's so many things of upheaval in the industry still that I think so many of us assumed would be complete by now, myself included, right? So I just want to say that just to take an awareness of how the industry has shifted is still continuing to shift. And I think that's why so many actors feel like the rug has been pulled out, you know what I mean? And you haven't been able to find your footing. So I want to know how you're feeling. I'm probably going to have some cough drops because as I keep talking, my throat just gets really, really dry. So forgive me for having cough drops and drinking my tea throughout this whole thing today. But please ask me questions so I don't have to keep talking and filling the space because I want to know what's going on in your career. What's happening with you? Where are you feeling stuck right now? Where are you unclear? What do you want to achieve, but you're having trouble finding your path? Oop. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Ellen, I am in Idaho, but moving to LA in September. Yay. For a couple months. I love it. September's really hot in LA. Remember when I first moved here, I was like, why is September the hottest month ever? And typically September, October is pretty warm, but it's lovely. I also live in the valley, so it's very hot. Okay, I'm in Idaho, moving to LA in September for a couple months. I have an agent who lived in LA, but now lives in Texas. I don't think she has good connections with casting directors in LA. Should I get a manager? Are you planning on staying here, Ellen? Let me dial it back. So your agent in LA, Helen says, love the heat. Great. Come on over. I love it. I actually really love the dry heat myself. It's the humidity that kills my hair, if I'm being honest. Okay. So back to your question. So I would have a conversation with your agent and let her know you are going to LA. She probably already does know that, right? And just say, hey, who is on your radar that I get to meet? Who do I need to meet to help us out there? What relationships do you already have that I can strengthen for us, right? So I would take some ownership on that and have a meeting with your agent about that. Now, second piece about a manager. I do think LA is more of a manager market than New York, right? When I lived in New York forever. I never had a manager in New York. I only had agents. And then as soon as I got to Los Angeles, I was like, oh, I want a manager and an agent, because managers might have different contacts and your agents have. A lot of the managers in Los Angeles do pitch. They do submit you for auditions. So you're kind of maximizing things. Now you are going to have to pay, right, your commission to both. That's just a given. But for me, and I'd say for most of my clients who have both, it is worth it. Now, the bigger question, I think, Ellen, is it worth it for you to pursue a manager right now if you're only going to be here for a couple months? You know, how would I work that? Ellen, are you thinking of moving here and you're just coming here for a couple months to suss it out? Or you're like, oh, I'm just giving it 2 months and then I'm leaving. Like, tell me your thought process on that. Sorry, I'm just still getting my other computer set up. Let me know your thought process on that. And again, for those of you just tuning in, as a way for Ellen to respond to that, please ask your questions. This is your time. This is our Actor Insider Live to get any questions answered on your acting business or any questions on the business in general. If you just want my thoughts, I'm an open book. This is an open forum. Happy to answer anything that you do have. Ellen says, maybe I'm a lawyer, so I have a lot of flexibility. Okay. So Ellen, what I coach my actors on and what's in my membership, the Actors Think Tank, is my 8-week agent campaign. And it's an 8-week process to reach out to agents and get meetings with agents or managers. If I were you, I would start doing that mid-July. Because here's why. The last 2 weeks of August, dead here. Everyone leaves, everyone goes on vacation, nobody cares, right? So you don't want to be emailing people the last couple weeks of August. But if you could start hitting them after the 4th of July and when episodic season starts, and if you could have a targeted list of managers that you're reaching out to, starting, mid-July, then you could probably get 4 outreaches happening there. Wait until after Labor Day and when you're here and you can pick it up again. And then you can say, and now I'm in LA. So you can start to land some meetings before you get here and then continue the rest of the campaign once you're in Los Angeles. I think that would be the smartest thing to do. So if you're reverse engineering it, we want to have a pitch email ready to go by July 15th. That also means we want all of your brand-centric marketing tools and marketing materials ready to go by July 15th. Let me look at the big calendar. July 15th is a Wednesday. Let's say the 14th. By July 14th. So that means if you don't understand your brand or have solid photos or all that kind of stuff, we want to make sure that your sales tools are competitive in the LA market and that they will stand out and scream of who you are and your essence and what you do best. So that means starting that now. So I would take a deep dive assessment on what you have going on. And really start making sure that all of your materials are crystal freaking clear. If that's something you need support in, that is exactly what I do with clients in the Actors Think Tank, one-on-one, all of that. So you can feel free to DM me and reach out. But I would say 98% of my clients end up signing with agents and managers because they've done the branding and marketing work first, because they understand their product and they know how to package it. Excuse me. So that's kind of your timeline, Ellen. Just got new headshots in my updated reel, all clear with my agent. Okay, great. And that just means you need a really solid pitch email and pitch email follow-ups. but I would start a campaign mid-July for sure. For sure. You're welcome. Forgive me for talking with a cough drop in my mouth as we move forward. All right. Thanks, Ellen. I'm just going to come over here and let me just log into my Facebook community on this computer. I don't always see the questions when I'm looking at it here. So give me 1 second. And then I see that I think Joshua had a question. Yeah. I don't even think we went live. I really am annoyed with Facebook. I think I say this every time. Yeah, it just says it's spinning on my end over here. Live video is starting. Okay. All right. We are moving on. Let me go here to Joshua. How do I move from the Toronto film and TV scene to LA? I just started my journey as an actor and I'm currently non-union. Joshua, stay in Toronto. Stay in Toronto, my friend. Everything is moving there. Vancouver, Toronto. All of the Disney Nickelodeon shows are pretty much shooting in Vancouver. A lot of films are moving to Toronto. I don't know why I keep saying it that way. LA production is still down. If you can work in both markets, I don't know if if you're a US citizen or have a visa or whatever. If you can work in both markets, I would start reaching out to agents in Los Angeles. Because the fact that you can work there and here would be a really big draw for agents. Do you have an agent in Toronto? I'm assuming you do. I really just want to say it Toronto now. I'm assuming that you do. But honestly, I would get a foothold in Toronto, Vancouver. I know they're further apart from each other before coming to Los Angeles, just because a lot of our work is going there. Now, are they still casting a lot of that stuff here? A lot of the leads they are, yes, but there's a lot of local actors in Toronto and Vancouver that are benefiting from some of those smaller roles that they're casting locally, again, to save money. So I think there's room for both, but I do think just because so much stuff is moving to Canada from the States, I really want to get a foothold there and build something there because it's just going to open you up in a different way. And then finding an agent here that understands you have dual citizenship or whatever it may be, that you can work in both markets, I think would be really appealing to an agent or a manager here. Joshua says, I don't have an agent. That's okay. That's okay. I would find one there. And there might be agents that work in both markets. I just started acting about 6 weeks ago. I'm currently taking lessons and I filmed a couple of small local projects. Okay. So you're just at the beginning of your journey. How lovely. So I love it that you're in class. Stay in class. We always get to keep practicing our skills. That's a given. I got a degree from NYU. I got a BFA in acting and I still practice we need to practice our skills. It's really important. So stay in class. I wouldn't think about coming coming to Los Angeles yet. I would definitely build a foothold in your market because there is a lot of work there. Okay. You're working on getting your headshots and demo reel done soon. Okay. So before you do those things, this is the one thing that I've been teaching since 2008. You've got to understand your product. It's not just about a pretty shot or watching me cry in a demo reel or get mad in a demo reel or whatever it is. It's about understanding your essence, what you innately bring to the table, what people see when they look at you, right? What roles fit you like a glove. So many actors waste thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing tools that don't sell them well. And then they wonder why they're not getting auditions. They wonder why the agents aren't biting. They wonder why their career is stuck. So Joshua, you're at a really great place right now to slow your roll for a hot second and really understand who you are in this industry and then how to package that so the industry gets it like that. There's too many actors, there's too much noise. Mediocre materials are not going to cut it. They do not cut it anymore. Good materials do not cut it anymore. They have to be great. And your craft has to be great because there's just too many people. So I'm not saying that to bring you down. I'm saying that for you to put on your business hat as CEO of Joshua and Abi. Is that how I say your last name? And really start to make, at the very beginning of your career, strategic business decisions. Many actors do not do that. They focused on craft, they focus on getting auditions, they focus on the bookings, which you're like, yeah, Jody, why wouldn't I focus on that? Because you're not always going to get the bookings. You're not always going to get the auditions. And then years and years and years go by. And look, I'm speaking from experience. I graduated from NYU Tisch School of the Arts as the BFA in acting. I thought my career would take off like that. I floundered for 8 years because I did not understand business principles. That's why now I teach it. That's why now I have a global company. But most actors do not think strategically about the business side. This is a business. It's a money business. This is why the industry is contracted, because the studios and production companies they want to make sure that there's a profit on the other end. That's why all we're doing is these sequels and blockbusters and franchises, right? Because a lot of them want to take risks on things. Though there is a whole resurgence of indie film, which is a whole other conversation we can have. But Joshua, I would, again, slow your roll for a hot second. I would understand who you are in this industry. What are the stories you want to tell? What roles fit you like a glove? And how can you have your headshots and all of your materials reflect that? If you need support in that, it's exactly what I do. I have a lot of clients in Canada. My Actors Think Tank, we can talk about that for you to get you started and get you started on the right foot. It's what I do with all my students who are in university, right, to get them started on the right foot. But that's what I would do. I would focus on building in Toronto first, get a solid footing, get an agent there, make sure that your sales tools are spot on, then think about an LA expansion. Joshua has a follow-up. Should I try to sign to the best Canadian agency available to me as soon as I know who I am in the industry? How do I know when I'm ready for LA? I would definitely sign a Canadian agent, right? And let me say this, your first agent is not your last agent. So you might not sign with a top tier agent right out of the gate, and you might. Neither is right or wrong. You just want to start working, right? You want to have someone there, obviously, that believes in you and gets you and sees you and that you feel comfortable working with. But I would definitely start with a Canadian agency. How do I know when I'm ready for LA is your question. I would get a couple credits on your resume. And look, I've had clients sign with LA agents who have no credits. I have clients who can't even get a meeting because they don't have enough credits, right? Every agency in Los Angeles is going to be different. And we don't know how everyone is running their business, right? But your question is, how do you know when you are ready? I think it's just, I'm trying to think of how to answer this, Joshua. I hate to say it this way, but I think you'll know. But I also think it's having trusted mentors around you, whether that's a career coach, an acting teacher you love, a mentor in your community, whoever it may be, to really have a 10,000-foot view on all of your materials and who you are and going, no, this is not competitive enough, or this is competitive enough, right? We all need that outside eye. So I think you'll know when you feel like, no, these materials really reflect who I am. I'm 1,000% confident in what I bring to the table. And I know that I can handle whatever's thrown my way. And I think it's just good to have that outside eye. Even last year, or year before, I don't know, they're all bleeding together. There was a chunk of time, like 8 or 9 months, where I was getting pinned for television shows, but not booking them. And I was like, what is happening? And so I hired a casting director coach to look through all my tapes and coach me. It was validating. And then she was like, and you could maybe do this differently and this a little bit differently. I was like, oh, and then I started booking. So it's really nice, Joshua, to have a trusted team around you to help you understand when you're ready and help you validate that you feel ready, right? So it's kind of an esoteric answer to your question. But my whole point though, in having you not like rush to Los Angeles is because we're still in a slight contraction here. There are more projects happening, right? Things are definitely picking up, but they're not where we were. And if you come to Los Angeles without an agent or a manager, um, it's just going to take a little more time, right? Where I think right now you're in a market that is hot, and I want you to maximize the market that you're in. I think sometimes we negate the smaller markets when since COVID, actors have built careers everywhere, everywhere. I have a client in Kansas building a career. I have a client in Bulgaria. I have a client in the Czech Republic building a whole career in the States. And clients in Florida. I have clients in mid America. Yes, I have lots of clients in the Boston market. Yes, for sure. I was just in Boston. There was a reading of my screenplay hosted by SAG-AFTRA and the Massachusetts Production Coalition in Boston. I have a lot of clients in Boston. Boston's a great market. Lots of things are coming through there. Again, everything has slightly contracted, right? So it's just something to be aware of. But you can really build a career anywhere. Okay, I'm going to go back because I know there are other questions. Joshua, let me know if you have any follow-ups. Hold on. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Okay. Yes, Georgina, hot water and honey with a slice of lemon. That's all I've been drinking, Georgina. That's all I've been drinking. It's like I don't feel sick. It's just my throat. It's crazy. Anyway, okay, whoops. And now I've lost all your questions. All right, there we go. Hold on. Let me scroll back, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Okay, Cybe CK. How do you become a background actor? I am flexible. I am free to travel. Background acting is so lovely. My husband did it forever in Los Angeles. I know a lot of people that do it. Once you become a SAG-AFTRA background actor, you can make a career out of doing that. You get paid really well. It's a long hours, very long hours, but a lot of fun and meeting a lot of people. So, Cybe CK, I guess it depends what market you're in, right? There are agencies that you can register with. Forgive me, my brain's just a little slow at the end of this week. Agencies that you can register with that do background acting. I am blanking on all of them in Los Angeles at the moment. I moved here later and I didn't do any background in LA. Maybe someone can help me out. Let's see. Cybe's in Boston. Okay. Yeah. Just do some research. Boston Casting, get on Boston Casting, number one. But there must be an extras casting site in Boston. But Boston Casting is the main casting website in Boston. So I would start there. Join any Facebook groups that for Boston actors, local actors. I've seen them on Facebook. There's a ton of them. There's only a handful of agents in Boston, really. So that's good. Not that you would want an agent for background work. I'm just talking about moving forward. But yeah, I would do a simple Google search for extras casting in Boston and see what comes up. And I'm sure there's a few places that you can register because they're always going to need extras. I'm going to need extras for my movie when I'm there. So there we go. But yeah, I would look at if there's an extras casting office there, but check out Boston Casting as well. Awesome. Okay. Hi, Troper. Hi, Laura. Hi, Maximilian. Ellen said, how do you find your team? That's a great question. There's no one way. You know what I mean? I know it's so annoying. Like, this is the perfect way. This is the only way to find your perfect team. It just doesn't exist. It can be like a threefold thing. One, referrals. But when I say referrals, I don't mean, hey, actor friend, I see you have an agent and you're getting auditions. Can you refer me to them? That's not asking for a referral. A lot of times people get weird with that. So look around at actors that you know. And you can say, hey, I'm actually actively pursuing or actively in the midst of my agent search. I see that you're with so and so. What's your relationship like with them? And then you listen. And then they can share with you their relationship with their agent. And we get to remember everyone has an opinion. Everyone's relationship is going to be different. Just because that's their experience with their agent doesn't mean it's going to be your experience, right? So we do want to listen and stay open. And you might have some red flags. You might have things that are like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's what I want. And then we leave it up to that person to go, hey, I could pass on your stuff, or hey, drop my name, or hey, whatever, if they're comfortable with it. So that's how I like to get referrals. It's the no pressure referral. And you usually get more referrals that way. So that's one way. Second way is you can buy a list of agents. Take a sip of tea. There's a couple of places where you can buy like a list of agents, and it could be like 300, 400 agents in LA or something like that. And you send out your pitch email, right? That's a pure numbers game. That's a pure numbers game. And some of those will be really low hanging fruit. Some of those might be too top tier for you, right? But we're just blanking it out there. And the other option is curating a list. I'm a fan of this. It's what I've always done. And when I say curating a list, you're still curating a list of about 60 to 100 because it is a numbers game. I have a whole system that I teach on using IMDb and breaking it down and really figuring out who could be those top agents for you, for what you want, for your goals. Like, for example, I'm also a producer and a writer. So if I'm going to look potentially for a new agent or even a manager, I might look for a management company or an agency that also has a producing arm or a literary department. So the other smaller agencies don't have that. I might not look at those right now because I want to look for something that's more suited to my goals, right? Maybe you do want to work in New York and LA. Well, then focus only on the bicoastal companies right now. Don't worry about the other stuff. So those are the three different ways to find it. Find the team. You know what I meant. That would be, yeah, those would be my three options to find that. Let me know if you have any other follow-up questions. Okay, that's all the questions so far. Okay, so what else? Hi, Adina. Hi, Danny. So what else? What else is going on for you? I trusted that helps. Oh, we still have 30 minutes. Yeah, these are great questions. And I think, the biggest thing is that we got to remember, you guys, that this is a business. It is a business. And the more you treat it like a business, the more people will take you seriously. It's just what it is. If you're like, I just want to act, I just want to be famous, I just want to be on camera, I just whatever. Like, yes, that's great. I just want to act. I just want to be on camera. I understand. I understand why you answer things that way. But I really invite you to fully understand the entertainment business. What does it mean? What's your place in it? What do you want? What's your product? What's your plan? So many people move to Los Angeles or move to another market or just want to be an actor, but they have no plan. They don't have goals. Their goals are just pay me anything. I'll act in anything. Hooray. That is not a goal. That's not how you build a sustainable career, especially in our industry the way it is now. It's just not how it works. For example, I'm producing a film that I wrote. Our goal is to be shooting it in October. And I've been promoting it a lot, pitching it a lot. We've just been on Location Scout. Like I said, I just had a table read of the film that the union hosted in Massachusetts. And so I've been getting a lot of emails, a lot of DMs from crew, right? A lot of crew wanting to work on the project, but also a lot of actors. And this happened to me when I was producing about a decade ago as well. And it just, rushed all back. That this is why I think actors get a bad rap. And I say this with love because I'm an actor first. But I think this is why all the they say don't email, they say don't call, they say don't do this, don't do that, don't follow, then we go, oh, I can't do anything. I can't reach out to these people. They say don't email, they say this. It's because the emails that do come through, I'd say 95% of the emails I've gotten about my film from actors tell me that they do not understand how this industry works. And I'm not saying that to be harsh or mean. And there was a time I didn't understand how this industry works, but guess what? You get to educate yourself on it because you've chosen a career path. Any other career path that you chose to do, you wouldn't just show up and guess. You wouldn't just show up and hope for the best. You wouldn't just show up and go, oh, they'll tell me what to do. That's your job to educate yourself on this industry and educate yourself on the business of acting. That is your job. You've chosen this as your job. So you get to educate yourself on that. But I have people reaching out to me now about being a background actor in the film. We're still solidifying financing. We're still solidifying locations. We're still solidifying our name talent, which so then we can lock our schedule. Then we can lock our budget. Then we can know when we're shooting. And then we can break down that into the days of what scenes are being shot when. And only then will I know how many background actors I need a day to reach out to you. But that's not going to happen for months. So when I get people now emailing me going, I want to be a background actor in your film, that's really lovely. And I'm probably going to go through an agency locally, so you know where the film is shot, register there. But you know what? If someone said to me, hey, Jody, I'm a local actor. I've done background in these projects, or I'm a local actor and I'm new to background work. I saw your project come through. I read about it. That script sounds great. Something nice. Say something nice. Oh, I love it that you're shooting in your hometown. How lovely. If there's a way for me to be included in this, I'm sure you're a couple months out from casting, but I just wanted to introduce myself. Um, and I look forward to working with you. If someone said that, I would remember that person and I would save that email because that is someone who gets it, who's not just making it about them. They've also made it about me, which is nice. That's what people look for, right? Most actors only make it about themselves. But that's someone who has an awareness. And I want to work with people who have an awareness, right? Who have an awareness of themselves, of this business, of the project, and they understand that they're a piece in the puzzle. We're all just a piece in the puzzle. So, take that for what you will, but it is your job to understand how things work. And that's why I've made it my job to educate actors on the business of acting, of what they can control and how to run their business like a CEO and how to have systems in place to support them as they're running and managing their business, whether that's mindset, goal setting, branding, marketing, networking, sales, social media, all of the pieces, right? That's what I teach. So that way you can be a well-oiled machine in the business of acting. So that way when someone researches you, they go, that person knows who they are. They know what they're doing. Right? Or the way that you send an email is not from a place of desperation. It's from a place of, oh, I see what you're doing. That looks really awesome. This is who I am and what I do. I trust that we can work together. That is way more compelling and appealing. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about all that I just said. I'm very curious. Let me know what you think. And yeah, my Facebook is not working at all. All right, I'm going to wait for you guys to all respond to that. And I see Joshua has another question. I've been reading and listening to audiobooks. Great. I'm taking lessons. I audit acting classes in my city. I try to practice where I can. What's the best way I can learn and improve my acting? You got to act, not just audit. So I would definitely get into an acting class. And I think if you're just starting off, like a weekly consistent class to grow, to partner with people, do scene work with people. It's just really important because you really want to get really comfortable in acting and reacting, comfortable in improv, comfortable, just being in this space with other actors and feeling spontaneous and free. And so that can't come from auditing, right? And again, I love it that you're auditing because we get to do that to understand how teachers work, and you learn a lot by watching other people. But if you want to learn and improve your acting, it's not going to come from reading a book, and it's not going to come from auditing a class. It is going to come from you doing it. There are so many Zoom classes now, so you don't even have to just stay in Toronto. Kimberly Jensen is a great acting coach in LA. She does Zoom classes. Karen West is a great acting coach in LA. She does Zoom classes. Anthony Grasso Studios in New York, they might be doing Zoom classes. I would, if you want to start moving to these markets, start seeing what the actors in LA are doing, Joshua, get in some of those classes. So I would, sorry, you guys, I would definitely look at some Zoom classes in LA and see what comes up for you there, especially if that's your end goal, right? All right, Ellen says, love it. That was super helpful. I've just defaulted to not saying anything. Got it. Thanks, Ellen. Georgina, oh, you have blown my mind. Actionable advice about contacting directors, producers personally on their project in your market. Yeah, you're welcome. It's insane how many emails people get. And it's the ones that are heartfelt and again, they understand, right? I had an actor reach out to me. I think you probably saw the casting notice drop for the reading that we did. And, he knew the film was going to come after that in October. And he's a bigger actor. I mean, a more experienced actor, I'll say that. And he reached out, sent his reel. He can also be a local hire in the area. Sorry, I had a text come through and now I lost my train of thought. He was a local hire in the area. Anyway, his email was just lovely. And he's like, I know you're not at this phase yet, but I just want to introduce myself, see if I can be of service in any way. Here's my reel. Would love to support. And if there's a role for me, great. Like, it was a lovely email. I passed that on to my team, right? So I think I think sometimes we just get excited, right? And we're like, oh my God, I see you're doing a film and let me know if there's a role for me. But that's not how to build relationships. And that's not how to position yourself as, and I'm going to say working actor, because whether you're booking something right now or not, you are a working actor. You are working on your crafts. You are working on your business. You are working towards bookings. You're working, right? A surgeon isn't just a surgeon when they're doing surgery. They're a surgeon all the time. So you're an actor. If you're choosing to be an actor, you're calling yourself an actor, you're a working actor. But working actors understand their business inside and out. So yes, you're welcome, Georgina. It just makes such a difference in the correspondence. And the same from crew, the same with the emails that I'm getting from crew. It's the same exact thing. The ones who go, oh, hey, I'm a this, and this is all about me. And the ones who go, oh, I heard about your project from so-and-so. I looked up your website. Very impressed with what you've done, blah, 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 whatever. Like, it just, that shows that they've done their research, right? Just shows that they've done the research. It's just nice. That's human nature. That's how relationships are built. Okay, so on YouTube, we have a question from Austin. Austin, I was saggy and joined the union too soon, I think, because I only have one major credit. But I didn't want to do any non-union work anymore because I want to do quality commercials, TV, and films. Thoughts? Ooh, yeah, I get it. I get it, Austin. I think a lot of actors are in that space right now. So many of our communions, oh my Lord, I tried to combine commercials and unions there. Prior to COVID, there was a whole faction of the union that was able to like convert a lot of the non-union commercials union. It was like a whole thing called Commercials Go Union. And they were doing such a good job. And then COVID. And then industry contraction and blah, 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 blah. And here we are back to as many non-union commercials as we had years ago, right? More so. That's challenging. Obviously, the TV shows you want to be booking are all union. And the films that I want to be booking are union as well. And it sounds like the same way for you, Austin. So what we got to understand is there's a smaller pool now of projects and then more union actors. So it is going to be a little bit more challenging. Now, I'm very pro-union. I've been a convention delegate for SAG-AFTRA 3 times. I'm very pro-union. And there's a thing in the union to go FICOR. Now, again, I'm not saying to do this. I'm not saying that um, what's the word? Brain went away. That I not adhere to this, that I back this or support this, I guess is what I'm saying. And there's something called FICOR. And I know some actors who have been union for a very long time who have decided to go FICOR because they can audition for union and non-union projects. Now, you might be very clear, and I think it's a very personal choice. And look, I have clients with kids who are like, I just need to pay the bills. I'm not going to judge anybody's choice. And I think right now in the state where we're in, people got to do what they got to do. And with that said, I am very pro-union. So Austin, that could be something for you to explore, where you could do something and pick and choose some of the non-union commercials or films that you're working on, that you audition for rather. That could be an angle. But I think the situation you find yourself in is very real. You are not alone in that situation. So it's twofold. It's like, do you open yourself up to the non-union world? Or my bigger question to you, Austin, is what are you doing to build the relationships that you need to build to get you where you want to go? Kind of what I've been saying this whole time, right? If you're choosing to be an actor, you're choosing to be a union actor, you're calling yourself an actor, what are you doing as a business owner and CEO of Austin Gage LLC? What are you doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to move the needle on your own career? What relationships are you building? How are your materials stacking up? Do you have enough pitch materials for your agent? Have you had a meeting with your agent in a long time? Have you talked about all of these things? How are you thinking outside the box? How are you creating your own stuff to put out in the world, to keep your creativity going, to let people see who you are? What's your social media plan? Like, what are all of those things that you are doing? There's so much that you are in control of as an actor. And we tend to give our power away a lot. And we tend to leave things up to fate. And we tend to not have fully fleshed out plans. And if that, I'm not saying that's you, Austin, but if it is, and anyone listening, you're just doing yourself a disservice. You're putting your career in the hands of the industry, hoping and praying and crossing your fingers, as opposed to being proactive in that. And look, God, I have like 5 things I want to say. First of all, Austin, if you are in Los Angeles, if you are part of the LA Conservatory, there's a huge LA Conservatory weekend coming up in August. I'm going to be teaching a whole workshop there on relationships. So if you're union, check that out. If you're in LA, rather, check that out. So there's that. The other thing I touched upon is creating your own work. I keep mentioning that I wrote and producing a film. That happened because things were slow. And I started writing. I had a story I wanted to write. And it was 2021 after COVID, and I started writing. And now I'm producing it. And now this could change the trajectory of my career because we're getting name talent involved in all of this. And I'm not telling you to go out and write a feature and produce it and do all the work that I'm doing. I'm not saying that. But if you're not getting the work that you want, how can you, number one, show people that you can do that you deserve to do that you have the chops to do that? Or number two, how can you create it for yourself? Can you create a reel series on Instagram? Can you create a TikTok series? Can you create something on a YouTube channel? You want to go create a short? People shoot shit all the time with their iPhones. Get a friend to write it. Shoot something. Just be creative. You never know what is going to lead you where. The old ways of doing things, of getting the agent and sitting by and being in acting class and waiting, is not how careers are going to really catapult forward now. Like, we do get to think outside the box. We do get to think like business owners. And if business owners feel a contraction in their business, they reconfigure things. They go, what else can we be doing? This isn't working anymore. What else can I do? What else can I do? And they create a new plan. So if what you're doing is not working, but you're still sitting in the middle of that plan that is not working, you need to create a new plan. Because just staying in that is not going to get you where you want to go. Austin, let me know if you have a follow-up question to that. I know I kind of went in multiple directions on it. So let me know if you have a follow-up question. All right, Joshua says, I'm taking weekly classes. I'm currently 4 weeks in. I love it, Joshua. You're doing all the right things. Just keep going. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Ellen, what do you think of in-person casting director workshops, and where do you find scenes to prepare? Great question. I do love casting director workshops. I think they do work. I think a lot of them are, they charge too much. And, I think there's a way to use them and use them wisely. For example, I don't know if you have an agent, Ellen. Yes, you have your agent. So your agent gets the breakdowns. So what I would do if I were you is I would find who are 5 casting directors you want to meet? Who are 5 casting directors who tell the stories that you want to tell? Casting directors also have their own brands, right? They kind of tend to do the same thing over and over again. And some of them don't. They're very diversified. But there might be a through line to the stories they tell or something. So you got to understand that, and you got to do your market research on that. So find your top 5 or 6 casting directors. Make sure that they're out there, right, at one of the workshops, wherever your market is. I would send those to your agent and say, these are the people that I'm considering. These are the people I'm considering doing workshops with. What's your advice on who I should meet who's currently casting? Because your agent's getting the breakdowns, and they can see that, Steven Tyler O'Connor is just wrapping up his season on Vampirina on Disney, and then he doesn't have anything else. Right. So maybe don't meet him now. Let's meet him at the start of the next project, because he might not have, they don't have another project lined up. Not that you're wasting that connection, but you're not meeting them at the prime moment to stay top of mind. But say Jason Stamey is on episode 2 of a 18 episode, which never happens anymore, series. That's a perfect time to meet Jason, because now there could be 16 episodes that you could potentially be in. So you want to think like a business owner. So include your business partner, your team, your agent on that, and then get their opinion on what they're casting, where they are in the seasons, what they're doing, what they have coming down the pike. That's why Casting About is a really great tool, research tool, to understand all the active projects that are out there and casting now. It won't tell you what episode or things are on. Only your agent will have that information. But between using IMDb Pro and Casting About and your agent, you can really start to suss out who the best people are for you to meet timing-wise, which could move the needle faster. So that's my thought on casting director workshops. I do like them. I'm part of the collaborative in Los Angeles, and we bring in guests to meet casting directors. So I still do them. It's just a great way to meet people. Okay, Georgina, hold on. I'm in Ireland between agents. Do you think it would be crazy to seek US rep? Can you work in the US? Number one. If you can work in the US, it's not crazy. Now, you're probably not going to, if you're going to stay in Ireland, you're not going to be able to do TV in the US because it moves too fast, right? So like you could do a self-tape, but if they're like, okay, great, we're shooting next week, I need you to be at a fitting in 2 days, that might be challenging. But films, yes, you could do that. Commercials would be challenging. But like I said, I have a client in the Czech Republic who's repped in the US. I have a client, in Florida who's repped in the UK. I just had a client in LA, got UK rep this week. So people are working in multiple markets. You just got to understand that it's going to limit you in one market a little bit, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It means you're going to be very specific in a certain market. So I don't think it's crazy, Georgina. I'm just going to go back to what I said to Ellen and Joshua, making sure that your tools are competitive enough for this market to stand out. Any market, really, that you know who you are. Right? That you're not just an actor who says, I play powerful professional women. That's not a brand. That's not helping people. That's not giving them enough information, right? You just need to know more information about your product. If you're clear on your product, the industry will be clear on your product. So for me, it just starts with that brand clarity, and understanding that your sales tools are strong and powerful and people can get it. Because your agents and managers are salespeople. That's what they are. and they need sales tools. They need sales tools to be able to sell you. So you want to make sure when you're reaching out that those tools are top notch. But I don't think it's crazy if you can have dual citizenship. I don't. Hi, Paula. Hi, Keem. Hi, Dula. All right, Georgina, I recently reached out to a casting director who had asked me to tape for a project in 24. I read about the project in Deadline, so I just said that was great to see, and I'd love to be of service. I love it. I love it. Congrats. It's amazing. She said she's holding on to me to be considered for her role. I love it. Perfect. Great way to handle that, Georgina. I love it. Hi, Priyasha. Hi, Tony Robinette. Oh my God, it's been so long. You are a powerhouse, Tony. Tony says, hello from NYC, stuck in the city until Sunday, looking radiant, meeting with Dream Agent next week. I love it. I've been following your journey, Tony. We need to catch up. We need to catch up when you're back in LA. And don't say you're stuck in the city. That was a city I lived in forever. You get to be in New York City until Sunday. How exciting. Though it's probably like 90 and humid, maybe. That might be feeling stuck in the city. Anyway, hi, Tony. Lovely to see you, and congrats about your meeting. Okay. Georgina says, I just never thought to reach out to producers and directors. Got it. Yeah. Keem says, I'm union 2, joined last year. Excuse me. Ellen says, awesome. Thank you. Tony says, yes, please. I was on the runway for 6 hours. Oh, okay. So you were stuck. That means officially stuck. Okay. You can use that word. All right. I'll see you soon. And I trust you'll have a safe flight back. All right. What else we got? We got a few more minutes here. What other questions are going through your head? I feel like I've been really like cutting to the chase today, but life is too short, right? I'm not here to bullshit anybody or sugarcoat anything. Obviously I love actors. I love what I do, and I want to help people immensely. And I just want you to really understand that it is a business. It is a business, and people treat it like a business. And if you're not treating it like a business, it's going to show. It's going to show. And it's going to make your career harder than it has to be. So I know that you didn't become an actor to understand branding and marketing and pitching yourself, or you didn't become an actor to be a master at reaching out to directors and producers, right, to pitch, or you didn't become an actor to have to manage your goals and track tasks and projects of what you want to do. Like, I get it. I know you just want to act because you want to be on stage, you want to be on set, you want to be in the booth, you want to be, creative. I understand. But you are wasting time, and just hear me, because I wasted 8 years. You are wasting time if you're not treating it like a business. You are wasting time if you are not educating yourself on this industry. You are wasting time if you don't understand your product. And I know thinking about yourself as a product might not feel good to you. That's why I wrote a whole book on it that's coming out in the fall. But you are wasting time if you can't take that 10,000 foot view and go, okay, I am a product. How do I package this product? That still is authentic. That still is you. That's not selling out. That's not putting yourself in a box. It's not doing any of that stuff. But that's why you got to understand business. So if this has spurred something in you, if you're like, hey, Jody, I really do want to learn some business stuff, go to my website, actor-insider.com. You can read about my courses there. The Actors Think Tank is my signature course. It's membership. It's very affordable. It has everything that I teach in there: branding, marketing, headshot prep, getting an agent, networking, mindset, goals, everything. It's all in there for you. So that might be a path for you. Or just email me, jody@actor-insider.com, DM me, whatever it may be, ask me questions. But let's get you on the path to really move the needle and not staying on the hamster wheel. And I also want to say, just to keep a lookout, because in about a month, we're going to open up registration. I've been putting together something really exciting for you. It's called the Shortlist, and it's my second annual summit for actors. And I've been interviewing industry guests. I'm going to have 9 casting directors, 3 producers, 3 directors, and 3 agents and managers. And it's all about the business now and what it takes to be working in the business now. These are all pre-recorded. I've been recording them. We're going to drop them in August. It's all free. So keep a lookout for the short list. But it's been really insightful what these people have been saying, and I've been asking the really hard questions because I know that you want answers, and I know that you want answers from people who are working in this industry, and that's what the short list is. So keep a lookout for that. Or if you're on my email list, you'll be getting the emails about that, or you'll see it on social. But that's going to be really powerful. It's 18 industry guests and 5 working actors. That'll be a part of the summit. So keep a lookout for that. All right, Ellen says you're incredibly helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, thanks, Georgina. Yeah, I just want my voice back. I'm supposed to be recording an audiobook next week, so I might think I need to put myself on vocal rest this evening. I mean, this weekend. All right, team. So good to be here with you. As always, DM me, reach out, follow me on Instagram at Actor Insider. I'm also live right now on my YouTube channel, Actor Insider. I have a ton of free content there. I tried to go live on Actor Insider Community on Facebook. I don't think that really happened. But anyway, follow me, reach out. I'm here. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye, Instagram. Bye, YouTube. And now I can never figure out how to log off. It's because I have too many things. How do I say goodbye? There we go. End stream. Bye.